Well, hello there, Essential Stencil family and friends. How are you today? It's Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff. And if you are joining me for the first time, let me know. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to comment the word replay in the comments there for a chance to win some Essential Stencil prizes. As people are joining in, I'd love it if you let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to know where everybody's from. If you're new here for the very first time, let us know that too. Hi Elizabeth, how are you today? I am just going to go find our live right here so we can get us started. I'm going to be doing some more Christmas decorating today on my live. Hi Dawn, how are you? Good to see you here. We are doing some poinsettia themed stenciling. All right, I can see more comments on my laptop than I can up there, so we'll just go with that. Hi Barb and Cindy and Susan, Florida. A couple of people from Florida in a row in my comments here. How are you all today? That's fantastic. Let's see if I can see those coming in. Whoops, there we go. We are going to be doing some things on a table runner today. So if you're just joining me, we are using Essential Stencil's poinsettia themed stencil set, which is poinsettia and candy cane. It's a 2-pack, so it comes with the beautiful poinsettia flower. I call it poinsettia. Some people say poinsettia. Guess it depends on where you're from. How do you say it? There's a candy cane, cute candy cane 2-pack, and these are quite large, so lots of fun with these ones. The other thing that I wanted to work with today is something that if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club, you will have access to. So if you're not in the club, you might want to join even just for this reason, because I'm about to tell you, and I've popped a link up there in the description of the live for the Stencil of the Month Club. If you haven't joined yet, you get your 50% off your first month using my code I Restore Stuff. So if you, and also for any of the Essential Stencil products on their regular site, essentialstencil.com, use my code I Restore Stuff. That's the name of my business. I Restore Stuff is your code for 10% off today, anything in the store, or anytime really. Even when Essential Stencil has sales, you can use that and oftentimes, you know, add extra to the deal. Thank you guys so much. Vicky's here, another Vicky's here. Hi from Texas, Minnesota, Ohio. Grateful that you're all here today. I'm so grateful. All right, we are working on some Hessian or burlap, however you want to say it. And this is just a table runner, and I picked mine up from our local Kmart over here, but you can get them from so many hobby stores, thrift, you know, dollar stores even probably have these. This one, now probably some people are going to ask me the length, and I did pop some in my Amazon shop where I've got a whole list of all supplies for stenciling, ideas, all that kind of thing. So if you want that link, I can pop that in for you. Now, this one, I did pop a few of the Hessian burlap table runners in here. It's coming through as Essential Stencil right there now. Hi Dorothy from Arizona City. Glad to see you here. So this one is in centimeters because I'm from Australia, so there you go. We've got it, it's 280 centimeters long. So if you write that down and you can do the calculations, ask your phone, you know how you can talk to your phone or Siri these days. And it's 30 centimeters wide. So that's the width is 30 centimeters. I know that conversion is 12 inches, 30 centimeters, because we have our school rulers are 30 centimeters, yours are 12 inches. So it's that, and then 280 centimeters long. So I've stretched one of them out over my dining room table here, and it drops down on both sides quite a length. So this table actually has extra leaves that we can add onto it. It's a really old antique table, and my great-grandfather, I think, built it. So I've done it up since then in a bit of a farmhouse style with a lovely stain on it. But we can add extra table ends to it, and then it makes it even longer. So the table runner will be a fun idea. Oh, is my microphone not working? Someone's asking me to speak up. Hopefully you can hear that. Let me have a little look, make sure it's all plugged in properly. Can everyone else hear? says that it's plugged in. Just double checking over here. Sometimes the cables are a bit wonky. All right, so Pat, can you hear that better now? Or maybe just check the volume on your headset or your phone or wherever. So we are looking also at the Stencil of the Month Club, because if you saw Melissa's amazing, beautiful design here, the lovely Melissa, one of our ambassadors, there she is. Whoops, there she is. You will have seen her demo this one, and it's a gorgeous barn or church. You can make it, turn it from a barn into a church using just some of these little extras that will go on the top and all over it. So that's a lot of fun. And it comes with all these fun sayings. So if you haven't seen that, just go to stencilofthemonthclub.com. I've got the link up there in the top. Also, if you are a Stencil of the Month Club member, you not only get those like 3 sets for December, 3 sets of stencils or pages of stencils right there with all of the interworkings that all collaborate together. You can also opt for an additional add-on. I think they're only $10 for an extra add-on each month, and that usually will fit together with the theme. So here we've got farm fresh, some words, pumpkins, flowers, trees and produce, and you've got those various things that you can pop inside the truck, which is a lot of fun. I also wanted to mention, because I'm doing a poinsettia theme today with this table runner, I'll be working with this one as well. In the Stencil of the Month Club, the other advantage of being in the club or being a club member is that they have a whole shop worth of fun stuff that is exclusive just for the club, and one of those is this poinsettia pattern. So that is from the Stencil of the Month Club shop. You can have a look in there for a range of other, they've got light bulb Christmas patterns. You don't have to be a member to look, but you do have to be a member to purchase from there. So you can just go over there anytime, and Essential Stencils pop that link in there. So you do get 50% off your first month if you order that December Stencil of the Month Club set, which is the church and the barn and all of this. Plus you can opt for the add-on, which is the fun farm fresh truck and associated things. All right, so what I'm going to do with my table runner, and I've got some ideas for a fun kids table runner too, so stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned till the end, because out of the comments, out of these very comments that you're making here today, they will be picking prizes at the end, so stay tuned. All right, so I'm going to use my Essential Stencil of the Month Club pattern exclusive today, but we'll also look at the large poinsettia flower and doing that on our table runner in the center of it. So this pattern, I wanted to show you how you could just do the ends of a table runner. You know how it hangs over the end? So we're going to work on the end today. So let me make some space here first of all. I'm going to point the camera down, move my laptop to the side, and hopefully I'll be able to see enough comments on the phone. Sometimes it just shows you a few. Wow, who's that from Gippsland, Australia? It's my Aussie friends joining me here. Sorry, oh, it's Jessie. I could see that just on my laptop. Okay, so here is the Hessian or burlap table runner. It's quite transparent, like you can see through it. So we want to make sure we've got something underneath, because this is my good table right here. This is my dining room table. Hi Glenda, I'm so glad you caught me too. All right, so I'm working down at one end at a time. So here's the end of our runner. I'm going to get my stencil brushes over here and plonk those on the end so we can see the stenciling of that here. Move this forward a little bit. My dining table is quite wide, so sometimes I have to do a little leaning. All right, so this pattern here is available just exclusively to the Stencil of the Month Club shop. I'm not sure whether I want to use this end. So if you look carefully at this stencil here, I'll put a black background at the middle, at the back. This end cuts off right here, but this end we've got a few little bits peeking out. So I might just start here. So you could even, it depends, it's totally personal taste. You could make this runner go right to the end and have this much, or you could move it down more or tape off and just, oh, there goes my stencil brushes. There goes my stencil brushes. Okay, was that you, Elf? I think it's the elf on my shelf here that tipped them all down. Well, I will need those to do my stenciling today, so just excuse me while I quickly pick up a few. If I run out, I'll come back and get some more. There we go. Saved. Sorry about the big loud noise. All right, so, and a colour to do these, I love red, so we're going to go with this Fusion's Cranberry Red. Now I've got, the Fusion is available on Amazon, or you can look up your local Fusion store if you have one close to you. All I'm doing for my cardboard, now this is going to serve two purposes. One for offloading the stencil brush, and if you've never stenciled before, I'll tell you what that means. And this is just a Cheerios cereal box that I've opened up, laying it under here so that we don't get our stencil paint on my dining table. So we're laying it under there, and we're also going to use this to offload the paint onto. Okay, so I might just do the end up to about here. Let's see if we can fit one on. It doesn't matter. This is 30 centimetres wide, so 12 inches across. And I'm just leaving some go off. You could add the whole thing, but for just time's sake, I think I will just make that go here. And you could add a lot of colour to it. Also, for time's sake, I think I'm just going to do red here because I wanted to show you some other things as well. I'll use my painter's tape. Hello, Diane from Arizona. I'm trying to catch comments at the same time. It's hard to see. Okay. Just making sure I've got that in the right place. Now, I will see these little berries here, and I can choose to add those or just leave them off. So it's really up to you. If there's any parts of a stencil that you don't want to include in your stenciling, you can simply tape it off. So, just going to start with, this is one of the essential stencil brushes. They come in a set of 4, and you can use my code iRestoreStuff for anything in the essential stencil shop. So that includes the brushes, their little wooden tags, and also the gorgeous new transfers. Has anyone been trying out and playing with their transfers? I'd love to know. And they do have some gorgeous winter transfers, rub-on transfers, very easy to use. Okay, so I've actually rubbed quite a bit off. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe we'll pop that down a little bit further. Rubbed my brush off, most of the paint off. You can see I've just worked it into the bristles up the top. I may not have enough on my brush. However, one way to find out, start stenciling. If I need more, I can always add more. But if you have too much, I feel like that's a little crooked. Hang on. If you do have too much on your brush, you can risk it bleeding under the stencil and causing, fuzzy edges. So we want nice crisp edges. So I'm going to just dab this one because we're working with burlap or hessian. It takes, because it's a weave, you'll find this with fabric a little bit. On paper, I might do a swirling motion like this, but it's really not putting much paint in when I do the swirling motion. So I want to grab a little bit more paint. I think there's a little loose bristle there. Every now and then you might get a loose bristle, but really great quality brushes, these ones. Okay, so just again, stenciling, pouncing and smooshing it round. I'm going to do that leaf there. And it just might take a little bit of working on how much you might need on your brush for using on the particular surface that you're painting on. So you can always go over and do a second coat if you needed to. I'm going to leave those berries off. Let me just do this. I might add some white to these leaves. I know leaves are green, but I feel like the dark green might just blend in too much with the dark, too much dark. The white might pop it out a bit more. Okay, again, going on to our next little poinsettia. And this is the pattern. I'm not sure if we've got comments going there. Yep. This is the pattern from the Stencil of the Month Club exclusive sets that they have on there. Actually, there's a, if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club, I think there's a package deal at the moment with some of these patterns, so don't miss that. If you're not in the Stencil of the Month Club, simple to join, really easy, and you get sent a set of 3 stencils, huge stencils like this size, with different patterns or different things on them. If you've seen Melissa's this month that she designed, it's a barn or a church. You can convert it one to one or the other things, with a whole bunch of things that you can mix and match with some lovely sayings. And so that's the December one. So then there's a January one, February, and we continue throughout the year, and you get sent that to your house every month. There's an optional add-on, and there's also these fun patterns and things. Like I said before, I saw a Christmas lights pattern. These are exclusive to the Stencil of the Month Club. There's another one I think I'll just try and just do the berries of that, and then I'll come back and maybe add some white, just as a little pop, a little feature. So I'm offloading my brush. If you're new to stenciling, let us know that in the comments too. Oh, someone else said, oh, hi Rhonda, how are you? Well, I'm glad you finally made it. Yeah, if you're ever looking for me, my live is really regular. I don't really change my time slot around at all. I'm here every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. CST. So that's when you'll catch me. Some of you have said sometimes, occasionally, you'll just miss that notification or it comes late or whatever, but I'm always here on the hour. Yes, I'd love you to share the live if you can. You can hit that little share button down there, share it on your feed, share it with some friends, send it to someone on Messenger. You know, any DIY crafty people. And if you've got the kids there, they might want to come and watch too. I've got a table runner idea that you could do with the kids in a minute. So we're almost finished this one side. And I won't make you sit through the second side. I'll do that after my live to finish off my project, but I am going to use this other poinsettia set that's got the candy cane on the back of it. And that'll be fun. So I don't know if anyone's asked it yet, but sometimes people will ask, so I will answer this, is how do you, can you wash the runners? Well, probably you can. I don't know. Does anyone wash? I guess if it got food on it, you would have to, wouldn't you? I would say that the burlap ones like this, it feels slightly stiff, like it's got some stiffener in it, not real soft. I'd say it would be a spot clean. However, if I was you, and this is what I am going to do with this one, I would set the paint on the stencil by just a hot dry iron, or by adding a hairdryer, blowing a hairdryer onto it on the hot setting, and that'll help to set the paint there so that when you do wipe or rub it, the paint won't come off. And I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint, which is it's a furniture paint, and it's made to be very durable and stick well. So, okay, before I go on, and I am probably going to have to just wipe a little area there. Oh, didn't bring a plastic bag. I'll have to grab a wet cloth from the sink here to just pop my paintbrush in so that it doesn't dry out completely. And I want to add a bit of white using a different brush, but without kind of getting it in. Oh, I just had this open a minute ago and now it's being rather stiff for me. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. Really appreciate that. So if you want to use any of these, purchase any of the stencils that you're watching with today, just use the code IRestoreStuff at any of the links that are posted there in the description of the live, and you can get 50% off the Stencil of the Month Club for your first month if you haven't joined there already, and you can also get 10% off your whole entire purchase order for the Essential Stencil. Okay, here's my white on my brush. Now I'm going to be just very careful to just hit those leaves. Let's just say there's snow on the leaves with the holly berries. Instead of doing green, I just wanted them to stand out a bit more. So we're just stippling this because I'm usually a bit of a swirler, but like I mentioned before, when you're swirling on fabric, it takes a long while for it to get in, whereas when you're pouncing, it gets right down into the weave, and especially since this is quite a thick weave, being burlap. Okay, I never know how it's going to turn out until we lift it up. So let's have a look, shall we? I think I've got all the bits that I needed. Now, what would be ideal is if I probably had cleaned that off, but I was really careful and the white didn't quite mix with the red to make pink, so I think we're all good. Are we ready for the reveal? Let's have a look and see how that looks. So here, oh yeah, the white and the red maybe didn't turn out as well as I thought it might, but here, let me just bring that up a bit closer. So here's the end of the table runner right here. Now imagine that with some gold or some metallic sprinkled in there. We could do that. But how cool is that? Look. So then I would do the other end, and that would just drape over the end of your table, like so. So then to find the center part, to do our really large poinsettia, here it is. This is the large one. Now this is the, if you missed it earlier, this is the poinsettia and candy cane 2-pack. It's got a very cute candy cane on the other side, so let's do that for our kids' table runner idea. And here is the large one. So we want to find the center, because I think, you know, you could actually add that pattern all down the center. A lot of time we try and make our runners all fancy, but we forget that we're actually going to put stuff on them. And when the table's set, the runner isn't really featured apart from those ends a lot. So I have to find the center of my table runner. So let's do that first by just folding it in half. I have to pop my pattern down there, and we'll just find the halfway point, and I'll do a fold. Because this was on a roll, it will flatten out eventually, but that just gives us the idea. There's the center mark right here. I'll place my poinsettia right in the center, and away we go. So again, popping my unfolded cereal box, and you can see it's got little blotches where I have painted, so that would have come right through to my table. Kind of wish I'd gotten some sparkly gold and metallic here ready to go, but that would have been fun to see. Maybe I'll have to add that later. All right, so now I've got my red brush again, and sitting down, see if I can see some of your comments there. Thank you. Oh, that's so good. Thank you guys so much for your comments. And don't forget, we've got prizes at the end, so don't go anywhere. Giving away some prizes to some lucky winners. So if you missed earlier, I am using the poinsettia and candy cane 2-pack set. Comes with this and a candy cane. Oh, I need to use some tape, and I'll just grab it off this one that I had earlier so that it doesn't move around. So the table runner is 30 centimetres wide, or 12 inches, and that will give you a nice big area. Now this one has leaves, and I could do green on those leaves, or I could match it with the white. I had to try and figure out, and I just went by what the Essential Stencil example was on the packet, is to which is the leaves here and which is the flower, part of the flower. So these parts with the little veins are actually part of the flower, well, according to the idea on the packet. So I'm just going by that. You could always just Google and have a look at the, you know, poinsettia plants and see what they look like. But these would be the leaves out here. So you could do those green, or I could do them white to match that end that I did earlier. The other thing is I could really tape those sections off, and but I'm just going to let them blend together. You could be really fussy and tape it all off. I kind of like the way it all blends together. So it doesn't take too long, you know, once you're starting here. A big red patch. Once you get going and you kind of start to get a feel for how much you'll need on your brush as you're doing Hessian. And this is obviously larger space in there. You could use one of the larger brushes. So the stencil set, a stencil brush set 7/8 of an inch, that would have been a good one for this large pattern. But since I already had red on this brush, oops, there's a leaf. Oh, nearly went over the leaf. Do some little swirling. So when you get on those the bridges, the lines in a stencil, just really do a good smush around in the fabric. Hello Nancy, how are you? Thank you guys for jumping on and saying hello. If you're watching the replay too, don't forget to comment the word replay and there will be a chance to watch the live, to get a prize, not watch the live. You are watching it live if you're watching the replay. It's always tricky to know how to say that because sometimes when people are watching it live, they're thinking, oh, am I watching a replay? But no, I have to say that for those who are watching the replay. All right, who has started their Christmas shopping already? If you haven't, you might want to consider getting some stencils for a crafty friend. And there's some wonderful stencil sets there if you have a theme in mind, anything that they like. They don't have to be Christmas ones, but don't forget to use an ambassador code. You can use my code IRestoreStuff and get 10% off anything in the shop. It doesn't have to be the Christmas stencils or the ones that I'm using right now. Okay, that one's a leaf. This one is not. I love these flowers. I'm so glad we have that pattern. Becky's about to do the Christmas shopping. I always have good intentions, guys. I always used to say, I need to get the Christmas shopping before school finishes and all the kids are at the store, right? So, because our school finishes for summer break a couple of weeks before Christmas. So they are well and truly out and all about the shops. Makes for a very crowded Christmas shopping experience. So, or you could shop online these days, can't we? Yes, someone just mentioned that, was that whimsical, where are you? Oh, it's disappeared. Mentioned the transfers might be a great idea for a gift for someone for Christmas. The rub-on transfers, and they are so pretty. I wish I'd brought some here because, yeah, you can use them on fabric too. You can rub them onto fabric. We've been rubbing them onto all sorts of things here as ambassadors, and we've been seeing some of your work in the Stencil of the Month Club too. That's a lot of fun to watch. Okay, I did a little mistake right here. I just started to get in on that leaf, which should be either green or maybe I'll do white to just match it up with my end that I did earlier. So if you just missed that, I did the ends in a pattern, and now we're going on to, we're doing white leaves. Let's just say they're snowed on leaves. So I feel like it would, I do have some green out here, but you can do yours green. I'm just going to do mine white. I like red and white for Christmas. You could probably do them any colour you like, actually. And like I mentioned before, wouldn't it be lovely to have some gold leaves? Some gold in the middle, or just sprinkle it around a little bit. And to set them, just add heat. So a hot iron, and if you're doing a hot iron directly on top, you could turn the fabric over, or you could add a really thin, one of those cotton tea towels. Could add that onto the top and then heat seal it. So a hot, dry iron, that's all you need. Oop, I didn't offload then. Now we've got a big blob of it there. That's okay. Okay, getting as close as I can. Now you could tape off this area here, but I'm kind of winging it. I'm living on the edge. Going very close to the edge as I can without getting it into the red. So there we go. Yes, someone just mentioned about the search on the website, on Essentials website. You can search for anything you like. So say you have a friend who loves coffee. We've got coffee stencils. So type in the word coffee in the search bar and you can come up with all of the fun coffee things. Have someone who has grandkids. They might like to use the grandparents' stencils, which is a lot of fun. There's a few of those. So type in grandparent or all sorts of things. If you're looking to get ahead in the crafty arena, and as soon as you've finished all your Christmas making, you might want to get started early on your Valentine's. Type in the word Valentine's on the Essential Stencil website and it'll bring up all of the Valentine themed stencils. Lots of fun there. Okay, so I did mention before, and we'll be working with again, the pattern that I used for the end of this runner, the table runner, was from the Stencil of the Month Club exclusive stencils that they sell just to the club members. So if you're not a member of the club, you can join today using the code IRestoreStuff and get 50% off your first month in the Stencil of the Month Club, and you'll receive the December set, which I showed earlier, so you can catch the replay to watch that, but I'll show it in a little minute too, so you can have another look at that. It's a gorgeous barn that you can add little windows to, change it into a church, add a steeple, lots of fun with that. Okay, finish that, pop that there. Let's see, lift up our stencil to reveal our lovely poinsettia flower. Imagine that with some sprinkles of touches of gold and etc. And there we go. So let's see if I can just hold that up a little more. There we go. Yeah, I like the white on those leaves instead of the green. I don't mind that. But you can paint it whatever colours you want. Go for it. It's your runner. Or if you're making it for a gift, what a great gift idea. So imagine that at the Christmas table, we've got the ends hanging down there, we've got a poinsettia in the centre. Well, you might want to space a few out and just have them all the way along. You could do so many things with the table runner with all of the stencils available. All right, now for our idea for, sometimes your family might be huge at Christmas time, you're gathering with extended family, etc., etc. And you might want to have the kids sit at their own little table. Well, you could give them a Hessian 1-2, or, let's see, I'll try and shift this somehow down here. You could get your little, oops, I've got my little helper here. Or you could get some paper, a paper roll like this. And we could roll out the paper, and this could be the table runner for the kids' table. Okay, so sometimes you could get those, those trestle tables where you can create a runner like this. Depending on the age of the kids, of course, if it's appropriate for yours or whatever, then you could actually get them to stencil some fun things using, say, they could use crayons or all kinds of things, or you could actually go ahead and decorate it for them. I don't want that to get on my, it shouldn't go through the paper. But imagine this in the centre of a large table runner. So we're just going to do this one on paper today. We could use a little bit of green on this one. Let's do that this time. Add some green. Gorgeous candy cane. So do we use red or do we use white? That's the question. Here's the candy cane, and this is in that 2-pack set. So we had the poinsettia and now the candy cane. I'd love to know your thoughts. Should I use red or white? Because what's happening is the background is going to be the other. So it's one or the other. Maybe I'll have to use red. And then if you wanted to add white, see the brown is going to be the white spaces. Oh, I probably shouldn't use, here's a tip, probably don't use your painter's tape on paper because I have a feeling that's just going to tear that off. Let's see, is there any comments yet? What would you use? Michelle's asking, how's Fusion Mineral Paint different from acrylic? It is an acrylic-based paint, so it is. It has a built-in top coat so it's different than chalk paint. Mineral paint is a furniture paint that's different than chalk paint, so it has a built-in top coat, unlike the chalk paint. Okay, red, 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 red. Red is the going colour. Let's do that. So I'll do red and then I'll add some green in here. Let me do the green first this time maybe. Let's see, where did I put, oh, it's right here in front of my eyes. I'm using again another fusion colour, and this is the pressed fern. So again, you could add an end to that with a pattern of some kind. And I'm just going to add a little bit of green. Again, just wiping the edge off and then making sure I haven't, not putting it over the white that I just offloaded before. This is called offloading the brush. So we want to offload as much paint as we can so it's just fairly dry. I'm just going to hold this down with my hands and I'm going for the green leaves here. Like I said before, you could tape those areas off so I don't get the bow if you wanted to. It is just very tricky to tape this off, you know. So we'll try our best to just not get it in the rest of the candy cane. Okay. So depending on your paint, and again, this is another reason why we should do it really thin, especially on paper, is this is quite thin paper. You may have a roll that's a lot thicker than this, which probably would be better, but the paint can be quite, depending on the paint you use too, it can wet the paper, which it's doing right now. Wrinkle it up a little bit, so just be gentle with it. I'm going to shift my paper. Oh, what have I got behind there? It's a lump. Oh, it's the it's the bend fold in the cardboard. It's taking on that fold. Okay, so we've done the green. I think that, oh, no I haven't. I spy another leaf over here. Probably someone said that in the comments. Yes, I could make the bow white or gold. That's a lovely idea. Do a white bow in the middle. But so you could actually just put a range of the little stencils here. Like, look at these ones from the Stencil of the Month Club. Where are they? Where you've got, oh no, that was the add-on that had the little cute truck. You could add some of these fun things and have the kids decorate that, put the tree in the truck, all of that kind of thing. That's from the Stencil of the Month Club, and that's the add-on for that. Let me see if I can, now it's stuck to the paper. Don't want it to tear the paper. So if you've got smaller brushes or you've got patience to tape around all the different areas, you can do that. Put my green back here. Let's try the white on the bow. Let's see how that works. I've got my helper over here. If you do have kids home at the moment, there you go. I've got a little elf helper. See if he does a good job helping out there. You can't see all of him, but don't those little elves get up to mischief? What's Elf been getting up to in your house? Has anyone got their elf on the shelf on the move? I do try and get back after my lives and check out all your comments. So yes, oh, I'm so glad someone said their granddaughter would love painting in this candy cane. So let's have a go at making the bow. We've got a ribbon here, and then I'll do the rest of the candy cane red. Once again, you can tape away your edges really well, and then you won't get the overlap that I'm probably going to mess up here a little bit, but you get the idea. Here's that bow, and there's a little ribbon right down there. Oh, that would be, I just feel like I'm going to really mess that up. This little section right here. And here. There we go. Makes you feel more confident when you can just paint on the tape and not worry about it. Oh, I think I got a little red bit of the candy cane. No one will even know. And the kids won't even tell. Okay. So we'll take that off there. Now red. Got our white, and I'm using just acrylic furniture paints that I have. I'm a furniture painter, so if you have not seen my blog, the blog is irestorestuff.com. I post about furniture makeovers. And transforming home decor, furniture, all of that kind of thing. You like the candy cane? Someone, who is that? Candy cane's your favourite? Donna says, is this a new stencil? It is one of the new stencils from the Christmas collection. So if you don't have this one yet, it is a really fun one to get to. They're nice and large, great for, you know, sign making, decorating table runners for kids, for example. Better get right down here so I can see where I'm up to. Don't want to cross over into the green there. Follow the lines. And so if you are using, you probably don't want to, you know, when the kids are waiting for their Christmas meal, what a fun idea to just put a piece of paper out, add a few stencils, and they can do their own stenciling. You might want to not give them paints, I don't know, depending on their age. You might just give them crayons or colouring pencils or something to play with. But, oops. See, now I've blotched my white bow with red. I should have taped it. Guys, promise me you'll do a lot better job than I am. And then a little patchy white place here. It's going to be very thin to try and get that without getting on the white bow. Some of these operations are really delicate, you know. Okay. Oh, and there's a little bit there too. Just use your tape, or you can use some cardstock that comes with the stencils. You know, those black cards, you can sometimes just move it around that. Let me get this bit first. See, I've hardly used any paint on my brush. It's just really working itself around the paper quite easily, whereas the Hessian or the burlap takes a little bit more paint. Remove all the bits. Let's see if we've got everything. Oh, hoping it's not going to rip my paper. There we go. Okay, I think we're done. Maybe I've messed up that ribbon a little, but you can see the idea and you'll do a better job, won't you? Okay, so that is the large 2-pack set with the poinsettia and the candy cane. Both of those are in that set. The link is right there in the description of the live. Isn't that the cutest idea for a table runner? I love that. So you could just keep pulling this out, and it's on a roll here on my wood stand that I got from IKEA. But there's the candy cane, and that looks quite cute. You could also add some things here at the end, or like I said before, you could use, you know, some of these things from the Stencil of the Month Club set, or any of the sets, to show how that works. Let me just move this guy over and I'll show some of those of you who have missed the first part of my live. Let me just show you our table runner that we created. I say we because you all were helping. And I'll roll this back a little so you can see the poinsettia flower there. So we've got that, we've got that. Let me see if I can shift this back a bit. And we're going to pick some prize winners from the comments. Essential Stencil will be picking prize winners for our live today. And if you're watching the replay, don't forget to comment the word replay. And we're going to pick prize winners from in the next 24 hours after the live. Oh, I was going to show you the end. Okay, so if you missed the beginning, so we've done an idea for a kids' table runner using paper, and they can make their own designs. We've got our large burlap table runner with a center poinsettia flower, and then this one that comes from the Stencil of the Month Club exclusive patterns. They've got some gorgeous patterns. The link is right there in the description of the live. Okay, so if you want to have a look at what other exclusive stencils they've got in the club, don't forget to use my code iRestore Stuff and get 50% off your very first month in the Stencil of the Month Club But you don't have to join the club to look. You can actually see what all of the stencils are in that set. So our winners today, let me read them out from my laptop right here. That's handy dandy. I wanted to congratulate you all. Our winners today, we've got Glenda and Monica, and then I have to click the little Seymour, and Michelle. So Glenda, Monica and Michelle, you can email Essential Stencil all your details, where to send those prizes to. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoyed that live today, and just go to wherever, you can click on that Amazon link if you wanted to find one of these Hessian burlap rolls. There's some fun ideas for your Christmas table. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I will jump back in and have a look at some of the comments if I missed any there, answer any questions that you might have had. But you can follow me over on my blog, I Restore Stuff, or you can follow my Facebook page, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, lots of tutorials on my YouTube channel. I hope to see you next week, same time, same channel, right here on the Essential Stencil page. Bye.